Have you ever wondered why weighted calisthenics athletes are so huge? Or maybe you haven't. Maybe you're just trying to understand if gaining more size is the side effect of training weighted calisthenics. Well, in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you exactly how these weighted calisthenics athletes are so jacked. Alright, so I'm going to start the video off by saying that I consider myself a weighted calisthenics athlete, as I've been doing this style of training for the last 3 years now. So with that being said, I'm going to say that I'm 100% an advocate for this style of training, like no cap. But why is that?
So the number one benefit is that this style of training is very efficient and feasible. More specifically, you can easily track progress. If you take a weighted pull-up from 90 pounds to 135 pounds, that is objective, real progression. And you know with 100% certainty that gains were made, both in terms of strength and size.
Alex here said it best. Weighted calisthenics is very easy to make progress and to more specifically track that progress. Now, with the progress that's being made, it's most certainly going to be increasing both your size and also strength. This right here is like the number one reason to why I believe weighted calisthenic athletes have insane physiques. And it's just quite simple. Their training is very simplified and straight to the point and easy to digest and very efficient. As you can clearly see, there's a clear and defined objective to reach. I know for me, for example, I wanted to be able to pull 3 plates on the weighted chin-ups and pull-ups for multiple reps. I didn't know the best methods to get to that goal, and I didn't know whether or not it was going to build significant muscle. But once I got there, or even just close to that goal, the results were clear. Getting a heavy weighted pull-up developed a crazy back. Getting a heavy weighted chin-up develop crazy biceps. It was that simple, man. And I believe that simplicity is what really made the journey of training both the weighted pull-ups and chin-ups just more enjoyable and easier to obtain in a sense. It pretty much eliminated all the nuances and variabilities that a novice lifter may encounter when they first start training, such as deciding what are the best exercises for each muscle group, how much sets and reps you should do for that exercise per week, and a bunch of other variables like I mentioned that I, as a novice lifter who started weighted calisthenics, didn't really encounter and didn't really focus on to a granular level to some degree. I pretty much had no real idea to contextualize what's needed to build strength and to build muscle. All I focused on was just getting better at these movements and achieving that 3-plate goal on the way to pull-ups or chin-ups. But one thing I didn't know was, for the most part, training within the 3 to 5 rep ranges was best for training for strength, and training close to the 8 to 10 rep ranges was best for training for volume, aka hypertrophy based training. Now, that's what I focused on. So I was like, why not just do a little bit of the middle, right? The middle of the end of the spectrum, which was doing 5x5s, 5 sets of 5 reps. I spammed this for like maybe a year or 2 years almost. Gradually implemented progressive overload, meaning I either increased the sets by working off with 3 sets up until 5 sets. And that format itself pretty much allowed me to make significant results. Right, the strength came and the size followed, which leads on to my next point of this video.
You can quite easily run a very basic system using the most common set and rep ranges. For example, weighted pull-ups, 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, inducing linear progression on that. It's basic and it worked. The same strategies that you would utilize for weight training can now be applied to calisthenics. And when you incorporate periodization, which is the formal way of organizing your training by many strength and conditioning coaches, you'll find it to be much easier to program, just the way it is.
As a novice or beginner lifter, I think it's super important for you to milk out the linear progression methods within your weighted calisthenics training, meaning doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps if you want to focus on volume, or you can do 5 sets of 5 reps so you can kind of train also within that strength rep range, but also getting enough volume by doing up to 5 sets to build muscle but still build strength. This right here, the straight set method, is what's best used for most people who are either beginner or novice lifters, meaning they are going to be seeing linear progress, very slow and steady, It's simple. It's like it works, it's very simple, it's easy, and it's efficient for beginner or novice lifters. Keyword, no cap. This is the best time to use these time-tested strategies for your training. Now, I will say this though, you also want to make sure that you're including periodizations into your training block. And this is essentially where you manage your training intensities on a week-to-week basis by adjusting variables such as volume, loads, tempo, incorporating planned recovery weeks, all for the purpose of training in a more efficient manner. Now, if you have no idea how to implement what I just said into your specific workout plan, I'm actually hosting free 15-minute consultation calls where I can help answer any of your questions and provide a step-by-step plan that elites and advanced strength athletes utilize in their own training programs, such as myself. So, if you want to get started, let's chat. Click the link in the pinned comments or check the description. Now, the reason why weighted calisthenic athletes are super strong and have insane physiques because of their simplified training is that when it comes to calisthenics, there's numerous ways to implement progressive overload. And to be quite frank, doing dozens of reps, sets, or super advanced movements to the point where you can train till failure or close till failure is just not the most efficient ways of going about things.
Bodyweight exercise isn't optimal for building muscle long term. The problem is with time, most people outgrow the exercises with their body weight alone. Just look at how the jack guys in New York train. They're achieving crazy physiques by just doing bodyweight exercises for tons of reps. Granted, they tend to do multiple hour workouts to get enough volume to exhaust their muscles. This isn't to say you can't build muscle with high reps, it's just inefficient and miserable compared to moderate reps.
And with this clip that you just saw right here, I believe that Daniel brings a great point to why high volume training when it comes to training close till or to failure is just inefficient to some degree. Most people don't train close to or till failure because there's a lot of variables such as technique, cardiovascularity, lactic acid buildup, which all affects the ability to gauge how close you can train till failure. For example, if you're the type to stop your set early because you have a huge pump on your particular muscle group that you're training, then you're definitely robbing yourself from truly training close to or till failure. And with bodyweight only training, that can be like no cap, close to 8 to 10 plus reps right there. So if you're even leaving that many reps left in the tank, then you're pretty much spinning your circles. You're never going to be truly making progress because, to be quite frank, training close to or till failure is one of the biggest reasons to why you can build muscle and also improve your strength adaptations.
The science suggests when training with high reps, it becomes even more important to train close to failure. When doing, say, 30 plus reps, intensity relative to failure, especially for bodybuilding, really matters. Now, if you're leaving 3 plus reps on bodyweight exercises, the intensity relative to failure is poor. That's the reason why you're not building muscle with calisthenics.
So from training with just your body weight, having that huge spectrum of rep ranges that you have to shoot for in order to even be close to failure, it leaves a very tough thing to focus on. And that is the mental fortitude to actually continue on that set, to keep pushing, to keep feeling the lactic acid buildup, to keep enduring that pain. And it's going to take a lot of time too, which I feel like from a mental fortitude standpoint, a lot of people just don't have. They can't push past their limits, right? Whether it's mentally or physically. A lot of times it's more mental than actual of a physical breakdown. So for example, if you're doing push-ups, right? The very simple, easy push-up variation you could do, for you to actually train close to a failure, at least for me at least, I need to be doing like 50 plus reps, right? For me to really feel a good pump on my chest. And pretty much when I feel that first pump in my chest, that's 50 reps. But for me to really take my chest to muscular failure, I gotta probably do another 10, 20 repetitions before I can really stop, right? This is taking into account like where I'm currently at with the push-ups. I know back then I used to be doing like 80 to like maybe 90 push-ups in a row, but I know for a fact I can't do that right now. But that's just an example from my point of view. So just take that in for a second. This is the reason why most people just don't see progress. They don't know how to train till failure. They don't know how to gauge that like level of pain and be like, yo, okay, yes, I feel pain, but I got to keep pushing forward, right? I got to keep moving along and getting more repetitions. But hey, what do I know? If you want to see more content like this, be sure to follow him, man. I'm a Tough Fitness Scout shit. No cap.
Cobra trains. He's up next. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. He's number one out here.
He's the toughest fitness guy out here.